was different. You just got to be versatile, I guess he was saying. Like, you could be a DJ one day, then like you're doing like, you're like an artist, you know, like making music, maybe a painter. Like, it's just like the whole idea of just like having nothing there, but figuring out ways to live, right? And I guess that kind of like taught him to, well, I mean, just to give you guys a little story, like it pretty much like moved out of Chicago to New York. Then he used to throw events, like parties, right? So he was like a promoter. I guess things started like moving where these events used to be like pretty big in New York, and these are kind of like the parties and events where like these big name artists now or people that we talk about have been around, and he has a really well connection and relationship with these guys. So that kind of led on to him doing like A&R music position for Capitol Records in LA. So he moved out to LA for that. He was involved in the hip hop industry for that. But kind of going back to in New York, like back then there was this huge culture of house music, and this is in like the late 70s to 80s, which also all came from Chicago, where he was from. And this is where he met my mother, and she was into house music as well, but she was a Japanese lady who was in Tokyo and decided to move to New York when it was just like super dangerous and like, I mean, you don't know what was going to happen. But
It was good.
all right.
My bad.
All good. Is it like a timer thing?
Yeah, they're model like it's.
Yeah. Like,
One?
A couple spots. Okay. Rolling again. So
where should I start?
Your mom moving to New York.
Yeah, your mom moved
Okay.
to New York and.
All right, yeah. So my mom moved to New York, and she was into this whole club scene, you know, with house music, and this is where she met my father, and yeah, they continued on with their lives in the music industry. Currently, my father is a model, which is kind of odd, but it's crazy. Yeah, it's cool. So yeah, like all these like things that they grew up with is kind of my inspiration on, yeah, just being yourself and just kind of going for what do you like to do.
I feel like I'd be intimidated, like if your dad was my dad. Do you ever feel that way?
Yeah, well, just in a sense that like yeah, I mean, I would say like, obviously I'm proud on normal days, but like sometimes when you like do think about it, like, man, like just the era of when he was, you know, young and what he created was something I feel like I could never do. And I'm like, man, like, can I really like be cool as he was or he is now? And, you know, just gotta like find my own angle, but also like, I feel like I have a kind of like a different, idea on things and kind of making it kind of different from what he had just because of like my upbringing in Tokyo. So which kind of adds a little more like of a subtle, I guess, way of kind of doing things. Whereas back then, I'm sure New York was just like, you know, putting out there like, this is me, this is me, this is me. So yeah, I kind of like tend to do things more on the quiet side, try to let it build. And I also do appreciate kind of going back to what I was saying earlier about time and being patient and kind of perfecting what you like to do. So I kind of have like this like process of, you know, or steps that I take to kind of put out what I like to do. So yeah, you know, sometimes it could be a little, yeah, intimidating, like you said, but yeah, I like to face that challenge, I guess. Yeah.
What do you love about your mom?
The second.